Hey everybody, this is Miss Florida Hot Picks here giving you guys a workout for Pick 3 Connecticut. I had a question during our past uh, member only live asking about key digit numbers from one of our special members, and I wanted to make sure I get this out to you guys because I did some further research and I want you guys to pay attention to some key digit numbers. Okay, so we have here just a couple of examples, and I want to share with you on the 317 rundown how when you see these key digit numbers, how they can pull up some really cool hot patterns of numbers. Now I'm going to tell you guys every state is different with key digit numbers, so it just depends. You have to backtrack to see what works for your state. You know, one thing may work for something and you may look at another state in another way, so I'm just going to warn you right there, but still a lot of great information here. Okay, so we're going to go to our first example. November 15th evening, the hit was 090. You notice here we have the 317 rundown. Now how do we put one of these together, just in case I have some new viewers that are interested? When you're using the rundowns, once you put in your last hit, you're simply just going to add each of those numbers down the columns. Okay, so for the first column we would add 3 all the way down. So 3 plus 0 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 plus 3 is 12. Now when we get to our 2-digit numbers, only use your ones, place your 2, okay? 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 3 is 11, use your 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 plus 3 is 7, and 7 plus 3 is 10. Just use your 0, okay? So the number we start with will be the number we end with. Then we would add 1 all the way down the second column, 7 all the way down the third column. Okay, so once we put everything together, I want you guys to pay close attention to the key digit number 2. Okay, so your key digit number 2s and 7s, Connecticut, you may want to pay attention to. Okay, all right, 2 and it's mirror 7. Okay, so you see these, the 2 and the 7. Notice, here's the kicker. Sometimes they're in front or in back of mirrors or doubles. That's a very, very important, because some people will totally miss that. You're going to see 2s and 7s all over these things. So I said, well, hold on. What's so special? As I kept just really studying and paying close attention to the numbers, I realized there's something really cool about doubles and mirrors and the numbers that are in front or in back of them. That's something you're going to want to pay attention to when you're working on finding patterns, okay? So notice here where the 2 is. In the back of it, there's a 3-8 mirror, okay? Well, 3 and 8, they're actually mirror numbers. Almost like doubles, but they're opposite of each other, okay? So a lot of people will miss this because they don't do mirrors. So I'm just going to caution you. You may want to rethink that, okay? Because there could be some really cool patterns, running around right in front of you, and you don't want to miss them if possible, okay? So with mirror numbers, I noticed, like I said, they're coming doubles or mirrors, so you have to look at both. Mirror numbers, if you don't know what they are or you need a list, they're right here. We're saying a 0 could be a 5, or 5 could be a 0. A 1 could be a 6, 6 could be a 1. A 2 could be a 7, 7 could be a 2. 3 could be a 8, 8 could be a 3. 4 could be a 9, and a 9 could be a 4. Okay? So with that said, let's go ahead and start seeing where we can talk about pattern structure. Okay? So again, you know what your mirrors are now. Let's talk about the number 2. Okay? Typically, I noticed that a lot of the patterns are coming L-shaped. They could do other things. They may veer off even a little bit. So pay attention to this 923 that sits right on top. Okay? Notice the numbers are more on top, but they could always be on the bottom. Totally look at that if you want to. So 923, possibly 4543. Let's say they came at the bottom, just to give you guys some ideas. Now, this is the trickery, because mirroring is real. Remember, we just talked about that. You also see not just 923, but you see it's mirror 928. Please, if you can, give yourself that option, okay? Especially because they're right there connecting. The same thing with the 543. If you wanted to, you may be able to do 548. Totally up to you, Connecticut, okay? Let's go to the 7. Why do we want to use the 2 and the 7? Well, they're mirror numbers. That means they're the same number opposite, but the numbers are going to mirror around them. Why is that so important? Why? Because you never know which part of the rundown that could be the hottest. They may choose 2 one day, they may choose 7. So you have to be careful with that, okay? You want to cover yourself. Now, my thing is, don't go to the store and go start spending money. No hunties, no. What you want to do, okay, is you want to play on paper first. See if your predictions are spot on, and then you move on, okay? All right, let's get on back. So, if I'm looking at the 7s, I'm going to do the same thing. 4, 7, 8, possibly. Maybe 4, 7, 3, just in case they want to swing out and mirror, right? We also have a 0, 8, 9. And possibly a 0, 9, 3. Okay. Now, again, I noticed that there's more going to the top, so you may want to just stay at the top. Totally up to you. Just giving you options if you wanted to look at something else. Well, what hit the next day? November 16th, midday, 9, 2, 8. So where was it? Okay. It almost made a perfect L shape, but it was right here. Okay, but notice it's the same area. It's the same area. Sometimes they'll come exactly L, but sometimes they're very off because of a mirroring. Oh yeah, the mirroring is real. Okay, so we have the 9, 2, 8. We'll circle that. Bam. Very nice. Very nice. Y'all thought this was cool? I thought it was cool. Go ahead and give your girl a thumbs up. I still appreciate your support. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if you're not in the membership, what are you waiting for? You better come over and join us. We having fun over here, especially with our member-only lives that we host on Fridays. We have some really cool stuff, and you get to request your pick 3 videos. Okay, so that's really important, especially because a lot of people want to know what's going on with their state. So that's very important, very, very important. So you guys make sure you join us. All right, so we're going to move on to the following example. And I'm actually going to need some room here. I'll leave that there. So I'm going to need a little room. I'm sorry. Did I take that off? I did. I think this is a 2. That was a 9. Okay. Sorry about that. I know that's a little ghetto, but I got to do what I got to do. Okay. So November 17th evening, the hit was 830. Okay. And again, we're talking about key digits 2s and 7s. Now, depending on the rundown, there are other key digits like 0s and 5s, right? You may hear a lot of people say, hey, I'm catching my hits random 0s and 5s. Pay attention to your rundowns. Even if you're not using a 317, still pay attention. You never know what's hidden right in front of you, right? So again, pay attention. Look at this 7 and this 2. It's right in front of some mirror. Sometimes they could be doubles, so pay attention to that. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, let's do this. So I would go 4, 5, 6, but also what? 4, 5, 1, because they may mirror off. 0, 7, 6 if you wanted to do that. 0, 7, 1 if you want to use bottom numbers. Remember, after a certain point, these numbers are mirrored, okay? Like that 830 becomes 385. That 147 becomes a 692. So stay, make sure you use both, okay, if you can. So let's go to the 2. 901. Okay. 906. 521. And 526. And again, if they veer off and do other numbers, totally up to you to choose other numbers. All right, but what actually hit November 18th midday? This is literally, I don't know, did you catch this is draw to draw? You may have to hold on to numbers for a couple days because they may pull a fast one, so you make sure you careful with that, okay? But what hit? 6, 5, 4. Bam. And this time it came perfectly in L shape. Okay? So again, 1 veered off, but it was literally right there in the corner, and 1 kept the shape perfectly. Okay? Really nice. Very, very nice. The thing is, you're not going to see these every day. Okay? And there are some ones that like to veer off and mirror off completely. I'm going to show you something. Let me see if I have my sheet here. I'm not sure if you guys can read my chicken scratch here or the printed version. Okay. So I'm going to show you something that happened. Look at this 200. Okay. You notice here, November 16th evening, there was a 200. There was a 2, and it was in front of a double. Y'all be careful. You know, 990, right? But they didn't have the 5 here, right? Make sure you know to mirror, okay? Just like we did, even if they don't see it, because what hit 599 came the next draw. I wanted to share that with you. Those are those throw-offs. Okay, that's why I love it when you see the mirrors. At least you know to give yourself both options. But when you see the doubles, you don't know to do that, right? But you know now, you see that, you're going to mirror that 0 and 5. Yes, you are. But then they could get nastier. And not really nasty, you just have to pay attention. Let's go even a few days even before then. November 14th, all right, you guys had a 573 hit. And I saw the 2. It was in front of doubles here. So my thinking would have been 956, 951, right? Or 401, 406. Okay. What actually played was 465. I still would have been one off. So this is another thing to pay attention. I went to the opposite side with a 2. Notice how there's a 6, 4, 5 in that same number family. Remember we had 956, 401, okay? But look at this. Around the other 2, there's a 6, 4, 5. Ooh, okay? But then, if you wanted to look at it this way, you got the 2 here, 956, right? But then you go up, you got your 6, 5, 4. You see how it's connected to each other? So pay attention. Those are those hidden ones that can knock you. I love it when they're perfect, like the ones I shared with you, but they could get a little sneaky. I thought I'd share that with you. I hope that helps, okay? What do y'all think? Y'all think I did a good job? Yes. Appreciate you. Anyways, I had so much fun with this. I hope you guys have fun with your key digit numbers. Make sure you're playing on paper first. And, you know, let me know how you guys are doing with it in the comments. And we'll see you guys on the next video.